Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,510, silver at $18.05, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,448. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, in what is being called the largest ever single day of commutations in the history of the United States, hundreds of nonviolent drug offenders and other low-level nonviolent offenders are being set free from Oklahoma prisons on Monday. In a historic move, Governor Kevin Stitt signed the recommendations to release more than 450 inmates on Friday. Now, all of those people whose lives were thought to be ruined because they were caught with substances deemed illegal by the state will have a second chance at life. Activist Post reports the move comes after a 2016 measure passed through the Oklahoma legislative process, titled State Question 780, making low-level drug and property crimes misdemeanors instead of felonies. Governor Stitt signed a bill earlier this year, retroactively applying the law to those who were rotting in jail for having a bit of a plant on them. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The United Kingdom's largest lenders have been writing off more loans than they were last year. Another indication that many businesses are hurting in a deteriorating economic environment. Activist Post reports that in the third quarter of 2019, write-downs on bad debt at four major British banks increased 51% from the same quarter of 2018. The amount of non-performing loans that have been written off by RBS, Lloyds, HSBC, and Barclays between July and September reached approximately $2.27 billion. During the same period last year, it was around $1.51 billion. An analysis conducted by UK-based financial services company AJ Bell shows. The difference has been attributed to the worsening economic conditions that are negatively affecting more and more companies operating in the country. One such example is the British global travel group Thomas Cook, which collapsed in September. A total of 4,355 businesses were unable to pay their debts in the third quarter. The ACLU has sued the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other federal agencies, making claims that the government is improperly withholding information on how it uses a facial recognition database on millions of Americans. Activist Post reports the civil rights organization also asked for a federal court to intervene and order the FBI and related agencies to turn over all records concerning their use of face recognition technology. That's according to a legal document. The ACLU lawsuit names the FBI, Justice Department, and Drug Enforcement Administration, alleging the agencies failed to produce any responsive documents in response to a Freedom of Information Act request. The FBI is using technology called the Interstate Photo System to identify potential suspects, and a watchdog organization, the Government Accountability Office, claimed that the agency has access to 640 million photographs, which includes driver's licenses, passports, and mugshots. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's the Onion Radio News. Hager physicists have created quantum slacks. This is Doyle Redland reporting. The stunning announcement that a team of Hager physicists has successfully developed quantum slacks was made this morning at a press conference in Philadelphia. According to Dr. Daniel Chang, head of the Hager team, conventional notions about the physical properties and possibilities of slacks have been turned on their heads.
We are on the verge of unzipping the secrets of creation and peering into the pants of God himself. It appears the very fabric of the universe may well be a smart cotton twill weave.
However, Chang urged caution in further research after tests conducted last month at the Hager Pants Propulsion Collider Laboratory in Dallas suggested the possible existence of so-called anti-pants, which could, in theory, initiate a chain reaction resulting in no pants at all. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Peter Griffin. No, I'm kidding. It's Captain Kickass.
It's a good impression, though.
I've been working on it a little bit. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not quite fluent with Peter Griffin yet, but I've been throwing him into my daily sessions where I talk to myself every now and again.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with those. So, Family Guy recently announced that they were going to sort of put a stop to the gay jokes, which I found interesting because Family Guy is sort of like South Park. They've always just sort of ripped on everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's,
equal opportunity comedians.
Yeah. But speaking of that, I found today a fascinating news item about a woman evidently attempting to sue her ex-husband for $600,000 because he came out as gay.
What, violation of contract or something?
Well, they're not married any longer.
Okay.
So
did he come out after the divorce?
I think he came out during. No, he came out as a cause of the divorce.
Okay.
So the story's really fascinating and very humorous. So let's get right into it. An unnamed woman in Cape Town, South Africa, tried to sue her husband for coming out as gay 2 months before their 6th anniversary. So yeah, they were still married when he came out as gay.
Okay.
I had to dispute the terminology here, though, because if you've been married for almost 6 years, you're not to a female. You're not gay. You're bisexual, perhaps.
One would think so, at least.
So she sought 9 million South African rand, which is roughly $600,000, for emotional pain, psychological trauma, and loss of income. What was he hurt? Income? I didn't really notice that part when I read it initially.
But was she supplying the financial base for the family?
I don't know, but if she lost her income because of her divorce, it's...
Oh, so it sounds like he was the breadwinner.
Yeah, so she was a glorified prostitute.
I mean, we all are in some ways, right?
Sure. Judge Mark Scher said that the wife's extraordinary sum was based on the husband allegedly misrepresenting that he was a heterosexual man just so that he could have kids in a monogamous different-sex marriage. And again, I have to point out that, if you're having children in a different-sex marriage, your gay card has been revoked. You might be bisexual, but I think at that point, you're at least not gay while conceiving those children.
Right. Yeah,
and if you can flip it off like that, then immediately after coming out, the couple no longer live together as man and wife. Now, here's an interesting tidbit. In her 368-page summary filing, the woman revealed explicit details of her ex-husband's highly private and personal communications.
Oh, okay. This should be fun.
Including his private internet browsing history, WhatsApp chats, and a conversation with a priest. 368-page summary filing.
That's a lot of pages.
Yeah. I can't imagine. Actually, I can easily imagine a woman who is just angry enough to sit there and type up that number of pages.
Yeah, or go collect all that data from go and search the husband's account on, his email and all that stuff, all the social media.
Yeah, this is a woman on a mission, man. The judge calls
Hell hath no fury, right?
Clearly. He called the wife's lengthy document an abusive process and devoid of relevance, as she included the proverbial kitchen sink in her details merely to cast doubt on her husband's honesty. But none of the details explained why she sought over $500,000 for the trouble.
Yeah, I'm thinking this can't be the first time this has occurred, right? This isn't like an historical, divorce. It's the suit that's probably the historical part, right? But I'm just thinking this can't be the first marriage to end because somebody came out as something, that
I would be stunned if it was the first marriage. Yeah.
So I wonder what happened in all of those other cases, right?
Well, they didn't have
what makes this one so special that it's worth $600,000, right?
Right. Well, nothing, really. It's just a borderline psychotic woman who feels scorned and is seeking an unreal amount of money from her ex-husband. Although South Africa has legalized same-sex marriage, a 2016 study found that 72% of its residents consider same-sex sexual activity to be morally wrong. The woman's lawyer will appeal the judge's ruling. But more interestingly, according to this news article, this case shows how homophobia hurts both gay and straight people. I don't think this necessarily makes the woman homophobic. She divorced a dude for coming out as gay. And she's crazy, certainly.
Probably upset, right? Anger's got to be fueling her. She's going to be in a fit of rage, right?
Yeah, it fueled 368 pages of just random nonsense.
I wonder if she was like, I wonder if I can get 400, right? Why 368?
Yeah. I thought, never having really tried to sue anyone, I didn't think you were supposed to present evidence at that particular juncture of a case anyway, right?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with how that all works, so.
I'm not either. But we've also got other crap to talk about coming up. Blizzard insists that they're not going to unban the Fortnite player who said, support Hong Kong or something during one of their live streams. Someone in the government is upset because the people in a community, the people of Maryland, don't want a thin blue line flag raised at its police department. So that's no surprise there. You've got an awesome list of places throughout the world that are revolting against their governments or are engaging in civil unrest.
Yeah, there seems to be, and I guess my thought on it, just the headline, I haven't read the article, but was just that it's all these places are having this like simultaneously, right? So it's almost like a movement in and of itself to have civil unrest,
Well, isn't there some sort of, it's a quack theory, but isn't there some sort of collective consciousness theory that would suggest that we would see all of these things rising at the same time?
Perhaps.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with it to say. I was hoping one of you would be.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not schooled in quack psychology.
And I get bored, man, and I hang out with some interesting people.
Oh, I cruise the internet and I go down the rabbit hole. I find myself at some real interesting places sometimes. I'm like, how did I get into this paper on quantum physics? I didn't understand any of it, really. I'm not that kind of a nerd, but...
And evidently, this has not been my experience, but according to the USA Today, evangelicals are upset with Trump's policy on Syria, saying that it is a death zone and we're complicit. So maybe we could see the rise of the anti-war movement on the Christian right. I don't see that as particularly likely because it, it's interesting to watch these Christians, though, the hardcore Trump Christians, engage in this sort of delicate balancing act between their professed religion and their state religion.
Well, yeah, and how they think that one religion can control the other or have some effect on the other. My advice to them is, whatever they don't like about the administration, they should just pray about it.
Yeah, that'll be effective. Sure.
Of course, as effective as it ever is, right?
Right, yeah. Which is totally ineffective in my opinion. But hey, there have only been countless scientific studies showing it to be ineffective. But what do I know? But it would be nice, for the evangelicals, because Jesus was, by his own words, a peacekeeper, right? He was not a fan of war and nuclear bombs and bombing people in foreign countries. Yeah. He certainly wouldn't be a fan of Syria. But I don't think what they actually mean is withdrawing from Syria or anything like that. I think they want more involvement. So we'll have to get into that to find out. It's going to be interesting regardless, because I'm not aware of the religious right in the United States agreeing on much. But if indeed evangelicals are criticizing the Trump policy in any manner of his foreign policy, given that the American government's foreign policy is just war.
Yeah, I'm down for less war all across the board. I can't believe that the number one cause of war, right, purveyor of war, it seems to be religion, right? Religion seemed to be the backbone, or at least God is telling me that we should go to war, that kind of a thing.
Well, I think it's used to justify it to the masses, but I don't think that, I don't think the U.S. government got involved in Iraq or Afghanistan for religious reasons. Not really.
Well, no, but claims were made after that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 855-450-3733. Do you want the wars to stop, or do you want to kill more people like most Americans do?
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad, and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years, with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other altcoins are languishing, the Divvy price has risen substantially against BTC. Now's the time to make a switch to Divvy, or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click master notes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
Gray.
And Captain Kickass.
And I have to tell you about local.bitcoin.com because it's where I buy and sell almost all of my Bitcoin Cash. It's a non-centralized, decentralized. Well, it is centralized, I guess, because it's there on local.bitcoin.com. But anyway, okay, moving on. So there's no ID requirements, none of that crap like you get with Coinbase, having to submit your ID and having to submit a selfie and all that. Particular buyers and sellers may require that, but local.bitcoin.com doesn't. All communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted, and the keys to those chats are deleted after the trade completes, 7 days after the trade completes. So finally, we have a global trading platform that respects our privacy, and you can use payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. The Bitcoin Cash is held in a blind escrow in a smart contract on the Bitcoin Cash blockchain, and if you use it properly, there's really no chance of getting screwed over. So go check it out. It's local.bitcoin.com. Now, I've got to dive into this story about the evangelical right because it's vague at best based on the headline. What exactly has evangelical Christians upset with Trump? I thought he was, their second coming. That's generally the perception I get of the Christian right, is that, Trump is Christ.
Yeah, I have a word for those people. They're called Trumpansies.
Yeah, that's a good word for them. It's fascinating because so many of these same people accused Barack Obama of being the Antichrist.
Mindless Obamatons.
What's their gripe?
I don't know.
Why don't they like him anymore?
Well, I'm sure they do, but we'll have to get into that. Coming to us from the USA Today, when Bassam Shak heard that Vice President Mike Pence had secured a ceasefire in Syria, one that included protections for religious minorities, he felt a wave of optimism that his family back home would be safe. But in the weeks since that deal was announced in Turkey, Ishaq's hometown in northern Syria has nearly emptied, with Christians and Kurds fleeing amid fears of persecution by Turkish-backed militia. When he announced the ceasefire, Pence emphasized Turkey's commitment to shield religious and ethnic minorities in the region. Now, Turkey doesn't do that in Turkey, do they?
I have no idea.
I haven't ever heard anything positive about religious disagreement in Turkey. It is probably not as bad as Singapore, but it's also not good from what I've heard. But Ishaq and others say that extremist paramilitary groups have not adhered to the brokered deal, continuing their attacks and terrifying residents in their path. Have either of you followed the mess in Syria with the Turkish government invading or whatever it is that they did?
I am not following that. The more I get involved with sort of being a libertarian, the less I care about what other governments do to other governments and like who's involved. Well, I feel bad for the
it's
people,
always
but
the people who get screwed over in those sorts of contests between states.
It's low on my priority list of things to pay attention to. You know,
I think at one point I cared a lot about that stuff, but like moving somewhere amongst other like-minded people, I begin to care less because I feel like there's not much I can do about that. But like actually going and migrating with other people who feel the same, that's the way I can care about it.
So you're referring to the Free State Project and its goal of bringing liberty-minded people to the state of New Hampshire, and that sort of has this net effect of just sort of inoculating you against what's happening in the wider world?
I've shut the wider world off based on that, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it happened for me basically when I stopped watching regular television, right? Even cable for that matter. Like I cut the cord. I'm an early cord cutter.
Oh yeah, same here.
And so I just download the programs that I want to watch off of, the downloading websites, right? Use a VPN, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Fear TV.
Yeah, but like I've
or
no
the
longer
Pirate Bay. It's whatever.
Yeah. Those types of sites.
Right.
But as far as
if the Pirate Bay isn't a honeypot these days, and that's open for dispute.
It is. But as far as paying attention to what other governments do to other governments in other lands, I'm no longer being force-fed that by way of the nightly news or the morning news or the afternoon news or the news blurbs in between the things that I'm trying to watch, telling you what's coming up on the news, that have annoyed me for really most of my life until I cut the cord, and then I'm like, I am free.
Yeah, you probably feel better a little too, right?
A little bit, yeah.
So what do you do about it bombarding you on social media?
I just scroll past it.
Okay, yeah, fair point.
But I have a pretty tight window of social media, so
it's still essentially the same effect, though, as the whole coming up on the news at 9 thing. I mean,
it is, yeah.
You would just do the real life version of scrolling past that, would just be to like tune it out, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean the television though is like it's the babysitter, right? It's the zone box, right?
It is. Yeah.
You stare at it and it glows at you, and you're just sort of mesmerized by it. It's literally the definition of hypnotism.
Releasing those dopamine shots.
Yeah, and so you get a little bit more choice with social media than you do with traditional television. Right, with traditional television, you just sit there and stare at it because you're too lazy to pick up the remote or go over to the TV and push a button, right? So you just let it, have its effect on you, whether you want to or not. With the social media, you have the option. You're like, it's a shitty headline. I'm not clicking on it.
Oh, dude. GCN got it. But yeah.
My bad.
Click on the button. Good job.
Yes, well done.
You're not wrong, though. I've noticed I cut the cord, I think, in like 2007, 2008. I mean, I was young when I did this simply because it was, Netflix was becoming more and more prominent. I could just download things I wanted to watch. And the TiVo existed. The DVRs and the TiVo programming and all of that started coming into fruition, which made it wasn't exactly cutting the cord initially, but it allowed me to skip everything I didn't want to watch and only watch the shows that I did, and even then skip the commercials.
Yeah, I'd say once I installed AdBlock for the first time, any commercial I ever heard anywhere, I was like, this is crazy. Why am I listening to this?
Yeah, it always jars me to sit down at a computer that doesn't have like AdBlock Plus installed,
Yeah.
and I like go to YouTube and it starts playing an ad. I'm like, what is this? YouTube has ads now?
It's
What
an
is going
interesting
on?
experience. I know, I don't remember who it was. It was somebody on, probably, either in the Bitcoin world or in the libertarian world that sort of gave the advice of try to do more things on purpose. You know what I mean? Try to be more selective and interactive with the things that you consume. And I directly applied that to media. Right, I love movies, I love TV shows, so like I'm going to continue watching them. But if I can get them without commercials and without being force-fed news and stuff, I'm a much happier dude.
Interesting. I have found that to be sort of a double-edged sword is the term I'm looking for in regard to the trackers on the internet and things like that. On the one hand, I don't get served. My behavior isn't being constantly monitored by corporations that I can't control. But on the other hand, I will get an ad for Tampax followed by an ad for dishwashing detergent and Ziploc bags and just random nonsense that I'm never going to buy.
Right.
So 855-450-3733.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Do you have a qualified plan, an IRA, 401k, 401(b), or some other type of investment account? Would you like to learn how the ultra-wealthy take their investment accounts and make them legally 100% tax-free? Have your money liquid and invest in literally anything you want to completely tax-free with the blessing of the IRS. And no, it's not a Roth. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
If you're David, a few well-chosen words can help level the playing field with Goliath. I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. Recently, I saw a Yellow Pages ad for an appliance repair company, and the headline read, "Why wait for Sears?" If you're going to the Yellow Pages, the Dead Sea Scrolls of advertising, you're ready to buy right now. So this is an attention-grabbing message. And how about the plumber whose radio ad says, "Call by noon Thursday, and we'll be there Saturday at no extra cost"? Smart guy. Most plumbing firms give their crew the weekend off. This one gives them Sunday and Monday off. In the words of a respected advertising executive, cut to the chase, make it quick, and tell me exactly what you can do for me, especially if you're looking for work. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about anything that is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Gray.
And the captain.
And I want to tell you about the Edge wallet. It's the mobile wallet that I use for storing cryptocurrency. I don't usually use it to spend cryptocurrency. I usually send it to Koinami for that because Koinami is horrible, but is at least good at that. But the Edge wallet, it can be used to buy and spend cryptocurrency.
I've used it.
It's an awesome mobile wallet. It's available on both iOS and Android, and you can use it to buy, sell, trade, and hold cryptocurrencies. It's user-controlled. You always have your own money. There's none of that 14-word recovery passphrase crap. You log in with a username and password. Don't forget your password, by the way, because you don't have one of those 14-word things to recover it in the event that you do. But yeah, it's an awesome wallet. It's been used here in Keene by the homeless population to make purchases at like one of the stores here that accepts cryptocurrency, which is just fascinating on so many levels. Yeah. Apparently, the homeless people will walk in and ask to use one of the employees' phones to access their Edge wallet. They will log in with their username and password, and they'll make a purchase. That's amazing, and it wouldn't be possible if they had to carry around one of these 14-word recovery phrases.
Right, so the wallet almost exists in the cloud and the app is just the gateway?
I'm not sure exactly how that works.
I mean, that's how websites work, right? I can go from one computer to another computer, go to whatever.com, log in with my username and password, and I'm in, right? So it seems
that's a good question, like on a whole different device?
Yeah.
Well, you can do that with the Edge wallet, certainly.
So, like, I can log in on, if you have Edge Wallet on your phone, I can use my username and password and log into my accounts?
Yes.
Wow.
That's easy.
But what I find curious about that is, it is user controlled. You always have your own funds. So is it that private keys are being generated based on the username?
Yeah, that's interesting. I'd have to ask somebody.
That's pretty deep.
With a much broader knowledge.
It's a fast wallet.
Well, yeah, it is.
I use it daily.
It's an awesome wallet. We know the guy who makes it, so we can actually ask him these questions at some point. So
nice.
Go check it out. It's edge.app. It's the best. I don't want to say the best, but it's a really good mobile wallet.
Their support is responsive also.
Are they? I've never had calls to use it.
I haven't either, but I've seen that others have, and they're Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, I actually have. I was having a problem when you log into. There's like almost a status bar that goes across the top, like
yes,
it's
there is.
syncing up,
and sometimes it does nothing.
Yeah, mine would never complete. It would get 80% of the way over to the right and just never complete. I opened a ticket. I had an email from them the next day. They actually wanted me to do a screen grab. So I did that. I uploaded it to them, and within, 48 hours or something, it was fixed.
What turned out to be the cause of that? Do you know? Because that's pretty much what mine is doing right now. And I just don't.
They didn't give me an RFO, but, they were just like, hey, we found the problem. We fixed it. You want to test it again? And I did, and it was good. They closed the ticket, and I'm a happy man.
And that's pretty good for a free application.
Yeah, for something that cost me nothing that I do like to use.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. So as talked about, or as alluded to in the show titles for those watching at twitch.freetalklive.com and dlive.freetalklive.com, an ex-gay group has descended upon Washington, D.C. to lobby against LGBTQ rights. And that was the title I went with, Beware the Ex-Gay Agenda, right?
What is an ex-gay?
Well, that's fascinating that you ask that, evidently. It's a person who used to be gay, but no longer is, apparently.
Huh.
Now, I'm looking at the picture here of these people, and I see your typical white evangelical Christian at the forefront, and then a lot of people who are almost certainly gay, but who don't admit to being gay.
Don't forget the good old red, white, and blue squeezed in there.
Oh, yeah. They've got to have the flag. So a group of people from across the country who formerly identified as gay and transgender have descended upon Washington this week to share their stories and lobby against two proposed LGBTQ rights bills. The group is made up of 15 members of Church United and Changed, two California-based organizations. Can California just keep itself to itself, please?
No, they can't.
This crap is so Californian. They seek to provide community for and protect the rights of, quote, formers, individuals who formerly identified as lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. The bill the group is lobbying against, better known as the Equality Act and the Therapeutic Fraud Prevention Act. Both have been supported by just about anyone. Well, the first one, the Equality Act, that's really only supported by statists. I don't support it. I think if a business doesn't want to do business with you, then they shouldn't be forced to.
I agree.
Well, most people don't, and they want the Equality Act to encompass...
I just hate the word equality.
Yeah.
Right? Because nobody is equal, right? I mean, nobody, not even identical twins are equal. They might be identical physically, but they're not equal in their personalities, right? One might be really gifted at playing the piano. The other might be gifted at math, right? So that's
that
not
would be
equal,
congruence
right?
rather than equality.
Right.
I mean, they can be good at different things.
I think that there's not enough individuals or individualism in the world, and so that's why I call myself an individualist, right? I want to encourage people to be individuals, right?
Absolutely.
You no longer have to be embarrassed about riding a moped down the street if it's what you really want to do, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's not
Screw the haters, man.
Do what you think is best for you, and if anybody else laughs at you, hurl the middle finger in their general direction.
Good advice. So the Equality Act, if passed, would update federal civil rights legislation to ban discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity in employment, housing, public accommodations, jury service, education, and federal programs. Boy, that is a long list. And again, I don't care if it passes or not. If somebody doesn't want to hire me or doesn't want to do business with me because of how I identify or how I present myself or whatever reason.
It's just so childish. They won't bake me my, cake or whatever, right? And now they want to cry to, people with guns to go force people to bake. How about you just go find a vendor that will bake your cake?
I think that programming starts pretty young, like when you're in school, early on. Don't ever sort any problems out between you and Johnny. Always come get the teacher.
That's true. They don't ever encourage you to hey, did you go and ask him why he hit you or something like, if you got into a fight on the schoolyard? You're right.
Go straight to the mediator.
Which is unfortunate because, the direct person-to-person communication would be far more effective.
Almost every time, yeah.
And so with just being an adult, okay, you don't want to bake me a wedding cake. Okay, well, I will find one of your competitors who will and give them my money. That's logic 101. The idea. Should be. And why would you want to eat a cake baked by someone who hates you?
Right, yeah, that makes no sense, right?
But you have people who actively seek out places that they know will discriminate against them in order to weaponize the state against them and to make a large amount of money, like that trans woman who wanted her genitals waxed and sued the waxing place for not doing it, for saying that they're not qualified to wax male genitalia. And she sought these people out on purpose.
Do people just no longer display the sign that says we refuse the right to refuse service or reserve the right to refuse service to anybody?
They don't have that right anymore. Things like the Equality Act are stripping that away.
And what is it with the government naming programs the opposite of what they do? I'm sure that the Equality Act is anything but about being equal, right?
The Inequality Act.
Yeah, it's the Inequality Act.
It certainly doesn't create an equal relationship between consumer and business. And I think that's what, and we don't really need the government to do that in the first place, because ideally we would have a free market society and the free market would do that of its own accord. But like, for instance, if you wanted a cake and somebody didn't want to bake it, you could just go to their competitor. In the long run, the competitor who is willing to bake you that cake makes more money, while the guy who doesn't want to bake cakes for certain people doesn't.
Yeah, you vote with your wallet.
Yeah. But evidently, the Therapeutic Fraud Prevention Act, which is more interesting, it would classify conversion therapy, a medically debunked practice of trying to change a person's sexual orientation, as a fraudulent practice. 855-450-3733.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or FlashRouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
Free Talk Live.
I'm sure I can speak for many of thousands. I don't fear illegals. I don't want them here and their filth that they bring with and the disease that they bring with.
All the people who work in the stores and the markets and the restaurants are overwhelmingly Hispanic, and they seem very clean and be doing a fine job here, and I've never heard anything about problems with disease.
For you to defend the illegal immigrants, and I'm not sure, as I said earlier, which host at what time is very condescending.
Madam, I will defend anybody that is peaceful and looking for a better life for themselves. We already pointed out.
I don't defend them. I wish that people like you.
You say that Mexicans are filthy, and you call me condescending, lady? You say they're disease-ridden and filthy, and I'm condescending?
And they are. And
You're outrageous. Get out of here. Thank you for the call.
She's had all her rope. She's hung herself.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Gray.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain speaking.
So I'm curious to see, well, I'm not curious to see, I'm anxious to see the Therapeutic Fraud Prevention Act classify conversion therapy as a fraudulent practice. I don't want the state to do it, obviously. But just about through all of American society, conversion therapy is generally regarded as just nonsense, abuse, torture, psychological torture.
Yeah. Although, I mean...
Yet the Republicans enshrined it in their platform in 2016.
If you're going to make something like that illegal, then don't you also have to make like AA illegal? Because that's a 100% religion-based thing.
It is. I find it fascinating that, you know, so many people have success stories out of AA and things like that, because, I mean, it's basically like telling people the solution to your alcohol addiction is God.
Yeah, that's literally what they do. For those of you who don't know, if you are having problems and you're considering going to AA, have the information in advance from us now that is basically the answer. Like, they won't tell you that on your way in. You don't really find out until you're in it, right? But that is their answer. The answer that they say is, oh, you just need God.
Get your little Jesus and get off the cocaine.
Yeah, and they have all of these little pseudoscientific rationale behind it saying, oh, yes, this is totally backed by psychology, but it isn't. And I have to dispute your psychology degree if you're suggesting people treat their addiction with Jesus Or not necessarily Jesus. It's more Masonic than that. I don't think they ever actually identify what God you're supposed to.
I mean, yeah, they try and keep the verbiage vague, right? They're like, it's not important whom, or which version. It's just important that you have faith.
Yeah,
right?
Isn't it like belief in a higher power required for completion of the AA program?
I believe so. I've not been through it, so I don't actually know. But
what's the test for that?
Yeah, how do you pass? Oh, I believe now, suddenly, right? Like, oh, do you? Right?
I don't know.
But I'm more drawing the parallel here between the two programs, because isn't the reprogramming theory, isn't that also, it's God?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that the basis of that?
It's a little more abusive because it tends to happen to people who are children and who get, quarantined off from the rest of society into camps and things like that for these little therapeutic processes.
Yeah, pray the gay away and all that kind of thing, right?
Hey, to clarify though, on Jesus, I would say more God, like you were saying, and like if I had to follow somebody like Jesus probably had a good message.
Yeah,
being peaceful and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, that's the irony of Christianity, is that like if Christians actually behaved more in the ways of the guy that they wrote about in the book named Jesus, the world would be a much better place. But they don't. They're all control freaks, and it's a mess.
Despite federal hate crime data and academic research to the contrary, along with countless anecdotal news stories, the formers, again, that's the we're no longer gay people, that's the ex-gay people, apparently they call themselves the formers, question the existence of anti-LGBTQ discrimination and thus the necessity of such bills. Well, I question the necessity as well, but the discrimination I don't particularly care about.
Can we point these people to questioning the necessity of the state, right? Can we just take it's unnecessary. Okay, but like, can you carry that just like one step further in your thought process?
That would be fantastic.
Can we encourage them in some way?
Yeah, because without the state, they couldn't do this silliness.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, for years, the anti-discrimination is becoming the law of the land, but for years, the discrimination was the law of the land.
And how do they enforce that? Like if this gets passed and somebody violates that, how's it enforced?
Well, in Colorado, there are these civil rights commissions, and in Canada as well, that investigate these matters and then make a decision. Extrajudicial decisions, of course. They're not court systems. There are generally no appeals processes and things like that.
And the penalty would be something monetary, so there would be a fine?
Oh, of course. I mean, is there any other penalty, other than the threat of violence?
And if you don't pay that, the men with guns come?
So exactly. It all starts with the law being passed, and then they have to build some sort of a bureaucracy, right? The department of how to enforce this new crap, right? Yeah. And then they have to raise taxes to pay for this new department of how to enforce this new crap, right? And then now all of a sudden you've got a little mini organization that's entire motivation is to keep their organization going. So now they're in the business of manufacturing more reasons why this useless crap is necessary. And so then,
sort
of
like
course,
the police and the war on drugs.
Exactly like that. It's
People
weird how
have
that
entirely too much time. If this is what they're coming up with.
Yeah, and so eventually, yes, somebody, some representative of the government will come to your door and issue you some sort of a fine, or they'll mail it to you, or they'll just take it out of your bank account, depending on, how your relationship with the government is. And then if you refuse to do all of that, then that's when the guys in the costumes with the guns show up. And if you don't do what they tell you, they purport the authority to end your life.
The system can leave the power, that's for sure.
So, according to Kathy Grace Duncan, I live in Portland and I don't see the discrimination that LGBTQ people talk about. Well, of course not. Not in Portland, Oregon. It's almost like Seattle in its amount of leftism and liberalism. They're asking for certain rights in this legislation, but these are rights that they already have. Jim Doman, founder of Church United, identifies as formerly gay. I love that statement because it's like, being gay is no longer something you are or aren't. It's something you can identify as in the same way that a person identifies as a man or a woman, presumably. So they're saying that this guy was never they're implying rather that this guy was never actually gay. He just identified as gay.
Probably came out and it was a big deal and now is doing this and it's a big deal.
Did he have sex with men?
The article doesn't specify.
I mean, that would be the answer right there.
There should be
I'm
tests
thinking,
to get in these groups. You can't just claim to do this. It's
also,
like
I
you have to
wonder.
pass.
I wonder if this group of what are they, formers? Is
Yeah, the
I just
formers.
wonder if if that's like their ruse now, right? Like they say they're former, but then now they have this big group of people who are former, and maybe they're no longer former in the former group.
It'd be a good name for a band, the Formers.
The Formers.
So this person says sexual behavior should not be a protected right. I have to disagree with that. If you're going to have a state, then the liberties of people should be all that state enforces or protects, rather. And obviously the state can't do that because the state's existence is counter to the protection of those rights. But if any right is to be protected, it should be an individual's right to engage in whatever consensual relationships they want.
Amen.
Changing the Civil Rights Act would create a superclass for anyone identifying as LGBTQ. You know, in the same way that the initial Civil Rights Act created a superclass of black people to rampage all over the country, apparently. The Equality Act treats sexual preference as an elevated class and would strip people of religious freedom. You know, on that note, I do kind of have to agree. Having crimes against you elevated into a special class of, it's especially wrong to beat up a gay dude. I mean, it's wrong to beat up a dude, but it's especially wrong to beat up a gay dude. That's messed up.
Double bad.
Yeah, that's not the way to go about achieving equality. I mean, you can't be equal to someone if you're putting yourself on an elevated platform. And it would strip people of religious freedom because religious freedom sort of entails the right to practice their religious beliefs. And if their religious beliefs tell them, being gay is a sin and you shouldn't accommodate it, then forcing them to accommodate it becomes a violation of their religious beliefs.
I think Rodney King said it best. Can't we all just get along?
That would be ideal. But Doman did add that unlike African Americans, who are among those protected against discrimination through federal civil rights lawsuits, LGBT people have not been subjected to systemic discrimination and abuse. I guess he's never even heard of Stonewall or...
I'm like, they haven't?
or the millennia of cross-dressers and trans people being burned at the stake, or Joan of Arc being burned at the stake, or any number of LGBTQ people who have, in fact, been subjected to systemic discrimination and abuse. So, the author, Doman, the founder of Church United, the guy who identifies as formerly gay, clearly has a bit of research to do before mouthing off on topics that he doesn't know anything about. But when we get back, civil unrest all over the world, springing up evidently organically. People are throwing off the shackles of the state to whatever degree, and it's a beautiful thing. We're going to get into that, including like Hong Kong. I don't remember any of the other places.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,510, silver at $18.05, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,448. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, in what is being called the largest ever single day of commutations in the history of the United States, hundreds of nonviolent drug offenders and other low-level nonviolent offenders are being set free from Oklahoma prisons on Monday. In a historic move, Governor Kevin Stitt signed the recommendations to release more than 450 inmates on Friday. Now, all of those people whose lives were thought to be ruined because they were caught with substances deemed illegal by the state will have a second chance at life. Activist Post reports the move comes after a 2016 measure passed through the Oklahoma legislative process titled State Question 780, making low-level drug and property crimes misdemeanors instead of felonies. Governor Stitt signed a bill earlier this year, retroactively applying the law to those who were rotting in jail for having a bit of a plant on them. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The United Kingdom's largest lenders have been writing off more loans than they were last year. Another indication that many businesses are hurting in a deteriorating economic environment. Activist Post reports that in the third quarter of 2019, write-downs on bad debt at 4 major British banks increased 51% from the same quarter of 2018. The amount of non-performing loans that have been written off by RBS, Lloyds, HSBC, and Barclays between July and September reached approximately $2.27 billion. During the same period last year, it was around $1.51 billion. An analysis conducted by UK-based financial services company AJ Bell shows. The difference has been attributed to the worsening economic conditions that are negatively affecting more and more companies operating in the country. One such example is the British global travel group Thomas Cook, which collapsed in September. A total of 4,355 businesses were unable to pay their debts in the third quarter. The ACLU has sued the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other federal agencies, making claims that the government is improperly withholding information on how it uses a facial recognition database on millions of Americans. Activist Post reports the civil rights organization also asked for a federal court to intervene and order the FBI and related agencies to turn over all records concerning their use of face recognition technology. That's according to a legal document. The ACLU lawsuit names the FBI, Justice Department, and Drug Enforcement Administration, alleging the agencies failed to produce any responsive documents in response to a Freedom of Information Act request. The FBI is using technology called the Interstate Photo System to identify potential suspects, and a watchdog organization, the Government Accountability Office, claimed that the agency has access to 640 million photographs, which includes driver's licenses, passports, and mugshots. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the conscious resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Right now, it's looking like tonight's record $500 million Powerball drawing could be cancelled, as embarrassed lottery officials have admitted they lost the balls. Douglas Bronstein, deputy director of the Multi-State Lottery Association, addressed the press moments ago. We have a quote. "We know how important the balls are to a successful drawing. I saw them the other day, and I'm sure they'll turn up somewhere." Bronstein says it's usually marketing director Ben Callahan's job to keep an eye on the balls, but when reached for comment, Callahan said he just sits next to the balls. It's not his job to know where they are every second of every day. According to Bronstein, it's crucial they find the balls before tonight's drawing. Quote, "We'd love to use different balls, but these ones have the numbers on them." Bronstein added that once they figure out where the balls are, they promise to keep them in some sort of case instead of just lying around the office. When we return, we'll meet some of the undeterred Powerball superfans who are camping out before the big drawing dressed as their favorite numbers.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Take control of the airwaves. Talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Gray.
And the captain.
And as we were talking about, evidently, civil unrest is springing up all over the world. Is it a CIA plot to create disorder so that the American government can swoop in like in Syria and all of these other nations? Or is something a bit more profound going on?
Probably a little both.
I like to think that the rise of the internet and the age of information eventually will reveal to people the true horrors of the state. And it helps that we have like Barack Obama on video admitting that the nation state is I don't remember. He didn't say a criminal gang, but he said an institution.
He said it's a monopoly of violence, right?
Yeah, in a given geographic area. And that's all it is. And there's this elaborate web of mythology and religious belief wrapped around it to make it seem like it's more benevolent than that. But as we were talking about before, it's all about power. It's all about taxation, it's all about being parasites. It's a parasitical class of people that has convinced us that we need the parasites to survive.
The government.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to your point about, the internet sort of making a dent in the availability of the information, it certainly has sparked, I think we're in the era of what's called the second man, right? So whenever a social change happens, like one guy stands up and he's like, hey guys, this is wrong. We shouldn't be doing this stuff. He gets ridiculed, made fun of, and told he's crazy and, a whack job, et cetera, and so on. And like that's
well,
sort
the
of...
Romans said the same thing about Christ.
Okay. So let's just say that guy is correct, though, right? It's the second man, right, that is really the most important in the social movement, right? Because now somebody's agreeing with the guy who was ridiculed and laughed at, right? And you'll see this in folks who argue for libertarianism or anarchy or whatever. Statists, when you try and tell them like the government shouldn't exist because your relationship with them is involuntary. Right, they'll laugh at you like, "Oh, you're crazy. It'll never," all that kind of stuff, right?
Well, yeah, because they bought into that myth that it's for their own good.
And like these theories have been around, right? Anarchism, anarchist thought writings and stuff has been around for a long time, but the internet has made it more available and allowed more people to talk about it and allowed it to gain traction. And that's why I think that we're sort of in the second man phase. The first man was like the origins of anarchist thought, right? And statelessness, all that kind of a thing. But like, I think right now, my gut feeling is that we're in the era of the second man regarding people coming to terms with the fact that the state is a useless entity.
Well, I'm looking for the exact theory, but I mean, yes, you're correct. And generally, the hypothesis is a 10% theory. If you can get 10% of a population to adopt an idea, then it's going to survive the long haul. But initially, you have that very first wave of people. Then you have maybe like 5% of the population. You know, that's when it begins to spread. That 5% snowballs into like 15%, and that's when it becomes the early adopters, and then it becomes the masses, then the late adopters, then the final holdouts.
Right.
And I think we are seeing the second stage, you call it the second man, but the second stage of that ideological revolution taking place, where initially, yes, it was Adam Smith and John Locke, and then Thomas Jefferson and the classical liberals, and libertarians came along a few centuries later. You had Murray Rothbard, Hayek, Mises, however people want to pronounce it, take the ideas even further. Mm-hmm. And then you have us coming along saying, oh, yeah, those people, they were correct.
Yeah.
Sorry to burst your bubble.
Observe the evidence and make your decision based on that.
Yeah. So, and we're not the only ones who at least agree, although some of these people may only want longer leashes. That's the case in a lot of these uprisings we've seen. That's what happened in the United States in the American Revolution. They didn't want to cast off the state. They just wanted longer leashes.
Well, there was a small set of people amongst the, quote, founding fathers, unquote, whom all sort of, were of the mind that, hey, we don't need the state. We're free. We have this vast area of land that's been undiscovered, right? We can just be free men. And they were sort of shunned by the minarchists. One is essentially right. That group, the founding fathers, that group was much larger than what you're taught in school. There was more people to that group, and
the Hamiltons won, the Jeffersons lost.
Right, and some of the other people within that group were of the anarchist thought.
Interesting. I wasn't aware of that. Of course, they're not going to teach that in school.
No,
no.
Do they teach anything there?
In school?
Obedience. That's right. I forgot.
They teach obedience. They teach memorization pretty well.
Yep.
I don't know how useful memorization has ever been to my life, but they at least teach it.
I can still recite the 50 states because of a song they made me memorize.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah.
I had in my American history class for the 11th grade, he required us to memorize every single president, the years they were in office, and their political party. Now, I thought the actual test here was for people who were stupid enough to do that, and people who weren't. So I made a little cheat sheet because I've got very small handwriting, and I taped it right here underneath my sweater, and I cheated and made a perfect 100 on it. And all of these other people just wasted countless brain cells and countless valuable minutes of their lives on this planet memorizing this useless, absolutely useless information.
Bunch of old dead white guys.
Yeah.
Well, and I love the I think it's called Pavlovian, right? The bell, right?
Oh yeah,
you're sitting in your
ring
class,
the bell and
right?
you'll get your little piece of candy.
Oh, yeah. They do this to dogs in kennels, right? They'll like sound a bell and light a light, and then the dog knows to put its head through the hole to get fed or whatever.
Yeah.
I heard a TED talk about that, and the guy was analyzing that, and they compared it to the bell being the drugs or the actual food, and the salivation from the food was like more natural, obviously.
Yeah.
So it was more therapeutic for them. And it's the same in people.
That was what Pavlov ultimately discovered, was that, if you fed a dog every time you rang a bell, eventually the dog would salivate just from hearing the bell ring.
Right.
It's like people who get up in arms just by hearing politicians make
there ought to be
promises.
a law.
Yeah.
Right.
They're convinced that they're about to be fed, so they start salivating.
They get high on complaining. Like, complaining is something that escalates. You ever get in a group of people and everybody's always got to one-up each other, and that's why this thing works.
That's why I think so much of this has to do with just human ego and arrogance, is because they've forgotten that we're animals too. We can be trained.
Yeah.
We can be psychologically trained just like a dog, just like a rat. We have to be aware of that.
And we have been.
If you're not aware of that, you can't resist it.
Yeah, you got to be woke about it.
Yeah. You can't resist manipulation that you don't know is happening. And we're constantly being manipulated by the media, by the government, by the news, by television shows, by Call of Duty. I mean,
video games, yeah.
It is everywhere. Your music constantly manipulating you, because there are plenty of statists throughout music.
It's horrible.
Like that
Country's
was the whole
awful.
reason I walked out of the In This Moment concert, the last Saturday. It was because they started spewing that whole, my grandfather fought in the war and he's a hero. I was like, I'm not going to be manipulated by people I like into cheering for things that I don't approve of simply because people that I like and respect as artists said those things.
Yeah. I'm guilty of that myself, but it's, we'll call it pre-woke. Right. So before I came out of the fog, I was doing the band thing, and we had a song that I wrote. It's called Vacation with a Gun. It was originally written from the perspective of the DC sniper. Right, because I wanted, it was like, well, what's that like to be on the other side of that, right? What's he got to be thinking to be doing all these shootings or whatever? But the lyrics were ambiguous enough that a friend of the bass players sent a bunch of CDs to his buddy who was in the Stryker Brigade, right? And he handed our discs out to his friends, and so that became one of the songs they would go on maneuvers with, cranking. So I was like, whoa, weird. And so he came to one of our shows and brought a bunch of his Marine buddies or whatever, and we did the thing. We're like, hey, everybody, these guys are from the Stryker Brigade, and they're cranking our songs and blah, blah, blah. And, I don't know, we said some status things.
Right.
I remember the let the bodies hit the floor was like the Navy's intro.
Right.
No, it was Godsmack that did that in the song Awake. Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, that was adopted by, I think, WWE, wasn't it?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was some sort of military branch, too.
It's a bit on the nose. I would really hope the military didn't.
Oh, no. It's that bad.
I would expect it.
That's so blatant. 855-450-3733.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I've always been high energy, just going, and I turned 40 last November, and I was tired all the time. Now, taking the balance of nature, I just feel good. I have energy when I get home to still wrestle with my kids and do the honeydews at home. It's nice. I can tell that it just restored me to feeling normal, which is great.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in to talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Gray.
And the captain.
And I've got to ask, where do you want to be in late February? I don't want to be in New Hampshire in late February. I will be, but I don't want to be. It's going to be cold and snowy and miserable, but...
You'd rather be in a tropical paradise?
I would absolutely rather be in Acapulco, Mexico. And coming up on, where are the dates? February the 13th through the 16th, you can go to Anarchapulco and listen to people like John McAfee, Ron Paul, Doug Casey, Freeway Rick Ross. God, that's difficult to say.
Freeway Rick Ross.
Yes. Right. That's difficult. We should just scratch that name out. Paul Rosenberg, Benny Willis, and lots of others. Enjoy 4 days among the sun and the beaches of a world-class resort. Again, that's February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for 10% off with the promo code FTL. That's anarchapulco.com, promo code FTL.
Benny Willis, he's the guy from Joy Camp, right?
I don't know.
They did, I think he's doing like poetry now, right? Like,
really?
Yeah, but like they were doing some like comedy videos, but they were all of, very sort of libertarian thought or at least philosophical thought. And they did, I can't remember any of them now, and I'm sorry for failing on the memory part, but...
I like Reason's comedy videos. Those are always really good.
Yeah.
Like their Game of Thrones spoof. I've never even seen Game of Thrones, but the spoof was really good.
I've not seen one episode of Game of Thrones.
I avoided it like the plague, and I hate George R.R. Martin and what he did to the entire fantasy genre.
That's the first couple years, but then it's like, how many more ways can they spin this thing and have me stare at this box?
That's where I'm at. Like, I've had my fill of, dragons and castles and sorcery and knights and, all that kind of a thing, like a long time ago. So I was just like, oh, another one of these.
See, I still love it. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love fantasy RPGs. My entire life. I've written a fantasy novel. I love it. But nice. George R.R. Martin didn't write fantasy. He wrote cheap, tawdry crap and masked it in fantasy, and the masses bought it. Most of them never even realized that what they were watching was, in fact, fantasy. And when I pointed this out to them, they go, oh, I never thought about that. I guess it is fantasy, isn't it? Yes, It's like Lord of the Rings, except it's cheap and tawdry.
Yeah. I did read the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Somebody gave it to me as a kid, I don't know, 10 years old or something, and
I never read those. I tried to, but I couldn't get on board with his writing style.
It was a difficult read,
yeah.
But once you sort of started to digest the story, it was fun.
I'm sure it was. Well, let's get into the phones. We've got Robert calling from Keene. Robert, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up? What's on your mind?
Having a blow-up evening?
Having a what?
A blowing-up evening?
I guess so. What's on your mind?
Speak to us.
reminded about something Ray said last week about people like just getting to love and be in peace and harmony with one another. And how you made, this guy, Gray.
Is this James again?
It is James, yes.
Yeah, that's.
How's it going?
It's my Robert's my middle name.
I'm
but
sure
I'm not
that's
in
the
Keene,
case.
New Hampshire.
I know you're not. So anyway, what
I'm not
great.
going to blow up anybody's
What's your
house,
question?
Gray. Gray. I have comments. Because I already made a challenge to you to go on Al Jazeera and make fun of 1.6 billion people's religion on the air.
I don't want to be
you're making
insulting
fun
to
of-
them. They've done nothing wrong
Like
to me.
you're making fun of people that believe in Jesus from a so-called church from the safety of Keene, New Hampshire, of which a naval base that I was born in is only like an hour away from. So you'll never have to worry about being murdered on behalf of somebody's God, ever.
Well,
And
he
if you
might
were,
not,
by
but
the way-
I have
if
certainly
you
had
were,
to
by
worry
the
about
way-
that.
If you were, by the way, somebody from the state would try to capture that person and put them in prison forever, unlike somebody else that's actually a convicted murderer that you probably know.
Yeah, I'm not a
That
fan for
unfortunately
eye for an
isn't
eye
still in prison.
justice, and I would have hoped that by this point, by 2019, and all of these social developments that we've seen, and the internet, and the age of information, and all of this other stuff, that we would have moved past eye for an eye justice.
Can I respond to that?
Absolutely.
'Cause I don't know who mentioned eye for an eye other than you.
You
But what
did.
you inferred
If somebody
from,
kills you, the
what-
state is going to chase them down and throw them in prison. That's eye for an eye.
Oh, my God. You call that eye for an eye? I thought that Jay Loon was stupid.
Well,
I mean,
it is.
Are you retarded?
In many cases.
I do know that I would love to talk to you about how you said your mother was murdered and you don't seem to care about it.
Oh, I
since you
care
haven't done
immensely,
anything about it.
but not enough to
But
hold a
I
grudge.
should like to speak. I should like to speak for the people that you called eye for an eye. One does not need to be a theist to believe that a murderer should spend the rest of his life or hers in prison if they were to take another innocent human being's life.
I know you don't have to be a
Innocent, by the
theist to
way.
believe that. You just have to subscribe
Right.
to
I
eye
know
for
you're
an eye
neither.
mythology.
I know you're, and I should like to talk about
I think what
this
he's trying to say is
with
like
you,
eye for an eye
James.
is would, if you killed me, then somebody would kill you.
Well, they do that in many of the states here in the United States.
No,
the
if
death
somebody
penalty
killed
is-
you, Gray, then let me be clear, since I guess you didn't understand what I said because you don't like listening to people that disagree with you.
I have a hard time listening.
I said if
Thank you for
somebody
your
murdered
patience.
you on behalf of their God that they believed in, that you were making fun of on the public airwaves, somebody from the state of New Hampshire would do something about it while you were rotting in the ground.
Like what?
Now, James might have a problem with that. I have no idea how he could possibly, but that explains a lot about how he's not doing anything about, on another show that it was ironically called Call to Freedom and was done by a so-called professing Muslim who actually believes Allah is God and Muhammad was his
Most people
messenger.
around here are pretty peaceful, so I don't think I have to worry about anybody getting
Okay, I'm not
offended.
talking about peaceful people.
Can you
I'm
focus
talking
on a
about
single
what
point?
would happen to your murderer? That isn't a peaceful person by definition, Gray. A murderer is not peaceful by definition. So I'm not talking about the other people that you just projected and changed the subject to, because you have a weak mind, and like I said, you don't want to talk to people
I could be a little
that
slow.
disagree with you.
That's okay.
Well, we're talking to you,
No, you're
James.
stupid. That's for sure.
That
You're not
works.
just slow. You are stupid.
I don't mind being
And you
slow and
say-
stupid.
Well, you are
Right,
the
and you
mouth-breathing
should be
donor, so
embracing
you're
it.
the expert.
And you should be insulted by what James said should happen or not happen to somebody that would murder you. So I should like to have a conversation with James about that after the break, since I'm not calling.
I'm not
in
going to keep
whack
you on
any
after
of
the
you.
break. However,
Of course not.
no.
I know you won't, because you're a sissy, not just in looks, but in mind and spirit.
No,
Literally.
it's because we have
You're
other
a
things to do,
pathetic,
James.
disgusting human being.
Why are you so angry,
literally are
bro?
a disgusting human being.
Why are you so angry?
Angry?
You sound
Angry.
upset sometimes
Why am
when
I
you
so
call.
angry?
Yes.
Do you know how many times so-called ministers from that so-called church of you have lied and smeared, not to mention doxed? and
Are you on
encouraged
DUI
their
number 8
fanatics
yet?
To call me?
But none of that anger
many-
is going to help you.
Well, James has 8 DUIs.
Oh boy, why am I so angry?
Or is it
I just
18?
heard that
I think
somebody
it's
expects me
18.
to show up to the. Speaking of being anti-statist, I don't hear you saying anything against Mark Edge using the state against James Wittekind.
In fact, James, thanks for the call. In fact, I do not support that endeavor, and I have, in fact, said that. How many DUIs are you at now? It's 18, isn't it? This is Free Talk Live. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind, even if it's just to insult us. 855-450-3733. Of course, we'd rather you have an actual topic. 855-450-FREE.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynavite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Take control of the airwaves and talk about anything you want, even if it's just to berate us and insult us and ramble endlessly and never actually successfully make a point.
We'll take it.
For those who are unfamiliar, that was James, a longtime listener of Free Talk Live and just absolutely obsessed with it.
Mouth breathing Dollard.
Yeah,
I like saying that.
The toxic user room on the Discord channel, which you can find at discord.freetalklive.com, it was pretty much created for him.
And he's in there?
He is in there, yes. Yeah. And you can tag him. I have given him so many Satoshi caches that it's not even funny.
What is that?
It's the smallest amount of Bitcoin cash that you can give someone.
Okay.
So it's basically just a middle finger.
Okay.
It's like
you can't spend it?
I'm sorry?
Because you can't spend it? It's so small.
In theory, he could spend it. It's just, now he's getting tagged on Discord and has to go and figure out why. And it's just to.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of saying, tagging someone in a picture of a cheeseburger and being like, now you have to open up your phone and look at this cheeseburger.
Or like leaving 2 cents for a tip at a restaurant when you had really crappy service.
Yeah. Very much like that.
It's more that you had to have really, really horrible service to get you to tip 2 pennies, right? Yeah. Like most people will get, I'm not going to tip at all. That was horrible service. But you have to have exceptionally horrible service to leave 2 cents. And that's, I think, what.
Yeah, that sounds mean. I'll do that.
He also has 18 DUIs, as I hear. But as you hear, joined in the studio, this is Aria. I'm joined by
Gray.
And the captain.
And for years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and we're helping to build one at liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for your community. At its core is a directory for events, businesses, and digital content, and so much more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social network aspect to it, so you can connect and share with others. Use of Liberty.menu, however, is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force, and for those who abide the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge on your profile. Again, it's Liberty.menu. So we've been trying to get into the story of civil disobedience, civil unrest is how they're characterizing it. So what is the civil unrest? Because I was able to name Hong Kong from memory, but as soon as I tried to actually grasp the names that were floating in my head, they fell through my fingertips.
Yeah, this article popped across my feed. It's from Zero Hedge, and of course it's written by Tyler Durden. If you're not familiar with Tyler Durden, you have the internet. Go look it up.
Fight Club.
But the headline caught my attention, and it says, we now have mass public unrest in France, Spain, Algeria, Iraq, Lebanon, Egypt, Hong Kong, Venezuela, Chile, Ecuador, and Bolivia. And the reason it caught my vision was because, first of all, that's kind of a click-worthy headline coming from, me being me. But also, it occurs to me that these things are happening simultaneously. And I was like, that's interesting if, if we are in the middle of, say, the second man or the second level of sort of, people sort of lifting, the fog of statism, I wonder if this could be a sign.
Let's hope.
So the article goes, Ages and Ages of Rage. Monday morning, and here we go again for another dramatic week. There are going to be monthly PMIs to look at in particular. Will we see any further deterioration, or will growth start to pick up as an early Christmas present?
What do they mean by PMIs?
I don't know, actually.
Okay.
Some sort of criteria, I'm sure.
Well, let's just continue on.
Sure. And there are, of course, rate meetings for the Fed, the BOJ, and the BOC. He's talking about, all the things going on in the banking world.
Revolutions are coming. Sounds like.
Plus, there's the Brexit circus. Will the EU grant the UK an extension until January 2020 or more flexible date, et cetera, and so on?
It could be just the internet that's sharing this information more so than like in the past when people didn't have this instant access to info.
In Europe, we have just seen the AfD surge to second place in state elections in Germany's I'm going to butcher this word,
Well, who is the AfD? Why are these things indicators of civil unrest?
Well, it's a 24% vote, double what it got last time, putting it 1 point ahead of Chancellor Merkel's CDU and the far left.
I don't know anything about political parties in Germany.
So each of these paragraphs are then explaining some sort of political economic changes that are being instituted by each of these governments. Right, and I think that he's going to tie it all together. I don't know if I can agree that those are really changes, though. I mean, it's just swapping out one particular ruler for another.
Yeah, until they figure out like something like the state exists and what it means, they're just going to, want another figurehead, and they're taking care of them.
I mean, I get that people are unhappy with the government, but the entire point of the democratic republic system is so that when they become too unhappy, they don't revolt. They just vote for a different person who carries on the exact same practices as the one before. That's why we so angrily went from Bush to Obama and then so angrily went from Obama to Trump. It's a way of pacifying the masses.
Rage quitting.
But as I scroll through the article, which goes into great detail about each of these countries', sort of financial status, what the governments are attempting to do about it, it does use all of the, financial and government acronyms. So,
and it gives no clarification about what any of these terms mean?
No, it expects you to know them.
Well-written article.
But it does go on to say, as I suspected, it sort of ties them all together. It says, indeed, consider that we now have mass public unrest on and off in France, Spain, and Germany, and Brexit, the UK from Brexit, Algeria, Iraq, Lebanon, Egypt, Russia, Hong Kong, Venezuela, Chile, Ecuador, and Bolivia, plus deepening polarization in the U.S., and one could add the middle-class disruption of Extinction Rebellion in Australia, Canada, and others. And it posts a map, countries and territories where significant protests occurred in 2019. And it's rather large, actually. It outlines, all of the areas where all of this unrest has occurred.
Now, in its data aggregation, does it include like swapping out political parties for each other as part of that unrest or a manifestation of the unrest? Because I fully agree that, people in Germany are probably upset about a multitude of things.
Yes.
But having the different political party there that they can vote into power that totally, like totes for real, is going to fix all of these problems they have isn't good.
Yeah, I mean, we know from history that states solving problems rarely do. When
we know, you, me, and her might know.
Well, and a lot of historians who've paid attention over the years, hopefully.
But I mean, they generally are paid by the state, aren't they? Because
That's a fact.
The economy has no use for historians and economists.
No, we
and
need
political
short
scientists. Yeah, we don't need those. I have no use in my daily life for a historian's services or an economist's or a political scientist's. So if these people who are interested in these ideological pursuits to the extent that they want to somehow make a living off of it are to do so, they have to ally themselves with the state apparatus.
Yeah, because otherwise it would take an enormous amount of work.
Yeah.
You have to do it for free.
Yeah.
That'd get kind of old.
And the closest you can come to get to that is a show like Free Talk Live.
Agreed.
Amen.
Which is more about selling entertainment in a thoughtful manner, hopefully, than it is about, writing 400-page research theses about the evolution of economics in the United States.
Yeah, there's a giant archive of these shows, so we're building this library, this history record we're talking about.
Oh, that's true. And you can find that archive at freetalklive.com. It goes back like 10 years, since before podcasting was even a thing.
That's a lot.
It is. And you can call the show, talk about whatever is on your mind, 855-450-3733, or use the Discord calling lines we talked about, which you can find at discord.freetalklive.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may
may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-301-5435. That's 800-301-5435. 800-301-5435.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Gray.
Captain Kickass.
And what's on my mind is stupid laws. Apparently, the government is quite good. You know, I'm a reader, right? So when I was a kid and I would eat breakfast, I would sit down there with the cereal box and I would just read it every single day, even though I'd already read it like thousands of times.
Right, because you didn't have a cell phone yet with, like, you know, all the world's information on it.
Right. And one of the facts that it had listed there was that, I don't remember the state now, but it was illegal to spit against the wind. So somewhere in some American state, it is illegal to spit against the wind.
And somebody had to dig that up.
Yeah, well, and every now and again, somebody will compile, a list of the world's most ridiculous laws and that kind of thing, and you feel a little bit worse about, about society, and you feel a little dumber for having read it. But
a lot of them, I just want to know the stories behind.
Yeah, like how did they come up with what exactly happened for them to pass this specific law?
Yeah,
and
it is illegal to bark at the full moon on August the 30th. After 8 p.m. It's like, what did someone do that made this necessary?
I think that's only if you're a werewolf.
And why 8 p.m.? Why not 7:30? Right? Why not 9? Right? Why specifically 8 p.m.?
So you have found a list of some of the most stupid laws.
Yeah, this is from sadanduseless.com.
Oh, that is perfect. Oh my God, I love it already.
The internet address, Sad and Useless Humor Site. And this article, it's actually a collection of photographs, which, have been turned into memes. So they take the photograph and then they put what the ridiculous law is. And so it's a list of these things. And, we'll just go through them. In Alabama, it's illegal to have an ice cream cone in your back pocket.
I could see that.
So if any of our listeners are in Alabama and you want to do some civil disobedience, go get yourself an ice cream cone, right? Go somewhere near, the police or, some other, state function, whatever, and put that ice cream cone in your back pocket.
That one is hilarious. The obvious result is obvious, but I have to wonder it's obvious what happened. Somebody put an ice cream cone in their pocket, but why did that become a law?
Well, and the implication here is that it's perfectly legal to put one in your front pocket.
I don't think it'll fit. I couldn't get one in mine.
And of course, the
Who
image.
even thought of this? Let's put an ice cream. I need my hands, and I can't set this ice cream cone down. I'm just going to put it in my back pocket.
If it's one of those, like the pointed, like the sugar cone.
Like the waffle cones?
Yeah, the waffle cone. Like maybe you could get away with like a temporary holding thing.
If
but
you
if
don't
it's
move.
but if it's like the cracker cone with the round shape, like first of all, I'm pretty sure that's not fitting in my back pocket. Second of all, the thing's going to crush as soon as I get it in there, and my tush is going to be, nice and cold.
Yeah, and if you move even slightly, the ice cream's going to spill out.
Yeah.
All right, what's next on the list?
In Kentucky, it's illegal to lick a toad.
All right.
I can see the status justification behind that, because aren't there a lot of toads that licking them will create some sort of psychedelic effect?
Better get the right one.
Probably not in the United States, but...
Yeah, that's my guess as what that one is too. But if it's not, why would you need even if that's the case, right? We don't want people getting high licking toads, so we'll make a law against it. Like, really?
In Mississippi, it's illegal to own more than 2 dildos.
Okay.
More than 2?
Yep.
Wow.
Why is that?
You have exceeded your allotment of sex toys.
Do they screen you when you buy them?
I don't know.
Maybe you have a punch card you have to fill out.
Hey, what are you in here for? Oh, they busted me with 3 dildos.
Yeah, it's one of those obscure laws that I doubt they actually enforce, like the ice cream cone in the pocket thing. I imagine if you walk down the streets of Alabama with that ice cream cone in your pocket, you would not get arrested for it.
Like, I want to do it. Just, I want to go to Alabama, buy an ice cream cone, put it in my back pocket, and walk around in front of, like, state officials.
Yes, and I want to find a cop and say, that guy's breaking the law. He has an ice cream cone in his pocket, to see what happens.
Nothing, I'm guessing.
No, I don't think anything would happen.
In Ohio, it's illegal to disrobe in front of a man's portrait. They have a picture of a girl with her back turned, and she sort of half got the shirt over the top of her head, standing in front of a portrait of some crotchety old guy in a suit.
This is in Ohio?
In Ohio, it's illegal to disrobe in front of a man's portrait. Apparently, a woman's portrait, it's just fine to disrobe in front of, but a man's portrait, it's illegal.
I'm trying to imagine the circumstances that would have created the necessity for this law. Well, obviously, it wouldn't be a necessity, but the demand.
What's the justification for creating the law? How did they sell this to people to get it into the books?
If you really got to know, I'm sure Google will help you understand. Whether it's true or not, who knows, but it's there. Has to be.
I want to do this one too. In Minnesota, a person may not cross state lines with a bird on top of his head.
I'm getting dumber by the minute. What's the next one?
In Delaware, it's illegal to serve perfume as liquor.
I could see that. That could be harmful to you.
Yeah. Oh, you got to try this new shot I just invented.
They get the bottles mixed up. Some labeling regulation.
I mean, I guess like some of those airplane bottles, the little ones that you get at the liquor store, the one shots for the airplane, right? Like they could be confused as like a perfume bottle, I guess, right?
I guess if you're a drinker, that maybe that does smell good to you.
In Pennsylvania, it's illegal to put a dollar bill on a string and pull it away from somebody when they try to pick it up. That is illegal. You can't fish for dummies.
I wonder if that's a thing that's ever actually happened. I mean, I've seen it in like cartoons and television shows and things like that, but I can't imagine.
Wasn't there an insurance thing where like the guy's got the fishing rod and
I'm sure
throws the dollar out, and like the customer tries to get the dollar and it always gets away from him?
The money thing definitely exists. I've seen that on YouTube. That's a classic prank.
In Utah, no one may walk down the street carrying a paper bag containing a violin.
All right.
Hold up.
Right. A paper bag, violin inside of it. You're walking around. Walking down the street is what this says specifically. In Utah, no one may walk down the street carrying a paper bag containing a violin.
See, I have to know the story behind this.
Hey, don't waste your time looking that up.
It's just an illustration of the stupidity of like...
I have been over here attempting to find out why it is illegal to disrobe in front of a man's portrait in Ohio. All I'm finding is people pointing out that it's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of these, here's a stupid law of the day kind of things that are coming up in the results. Nobody that I've seen yet has actually attempted to explain why this was done.
I have to think that most of these are without real explanation. Like,
but
they're just too dumb to like have anything that makes, okay, that seems reasonable, because none of them are.
But this means it went through a state Senate and a state House of Representatives, and they both houses voted yes, and then a governor signed it into law.
Yes.
It was a slow day, maybe a slow lot of days.
All of those things occurred in each and every one of these cases. Further illustrating the stupidity of the state.
You would think at least one of these people would stand up and go, wait, what? Why are we making it illegal to put an ice cream cone in your back pocket?
I don't know. But in Vermont, it's illegal to use colored margarine in restaurants unless the menu indicates that you do.
We could almost... I was excited because we can almost test it. Because it's Vermont. That's like 5 minutes away.
That's true. We could get like some orange butter or some green butter or something.
But we don't have a restaurant.
No,
Nothing's going to happen.
But we could go to a restaurant and like bring some of this green butter with us. Be like, you guys are serving green butter, right?
That's true.
Stage a fake thing. You don't have a sign up. That's illegal, right? Might be fun. In Oklahoma, it's illegal to make love with an automobile.
At some point, you have to let Darwinism happen.
Tailpipe's hot.
In New Jersey, a person can be arrested for slurping soup in public.
New Jersey isn't terribly far away either.
That is pretty rude.
There you go, Jersey. You want to engage in some public disobedience? Start slurping your soup whenever
we get
you're
like
in public.
all the keen libertarians to go out there on a cold day with bowls of soup and just sit out there slurping them.
To New Jersey?
Yeah.
For that? No, thanks. I'll meet you in the square and slurp soup.
Good point. Yeah, I don't intend to go to New Jersey again. More of these stupid laws. Don't go anywhere. What else we got? Do we have a quick one?
No.
Okay. Well, think about that as we go out, and we'll be right back. We got more coming up. More reasons that the state is insane. Don't put an ice cream cone in your back pocket. Don't put a violin in a bag and walk down the street.
With Fortune DNA, you can invest in anything you want to, 100% tax-free for you and your heirs, and use your money before you're 59 and a half without ever losing your principal, all with the blessing of the IRS. Avoid the volatility of the market, put certainty back into your investing future, and keep full access to your money with Fortune DNA. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,510, silver at $18.05, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,448. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, in what is being called the largest ever single day of commutations in the history of the United States, hundreds of nonviolent drug offenders and other low-level nonviolent offenders are being set free from Oklahoma prisons on Monday. In a historic move, Governor Kevin Stitt signed the recommendations to release more than 450 inmates on Friday. Now, all of those people whose lives were thought to be ruined because they were caught with substances deemed illegal by the state will have a second chance at life. Activist Post reports the move comes after a 2016 measure passed through the Oklahoma legislative process titled State Question 780, making low-level drug and property crimes misdemeanors instead of felonies. Governor Stitt signed a bill earlier this year retroactively applying the law to those who were rotting in jail for having a bit of a plant on them. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The United Kingdom's largest lenders have been writing off more loans than they were last year. Another indication that many businesses are hurting in a deteriorating economic environment. Activist Post reports that in the third quarter of 2019, write-downs on bad debt at 4 major British banks increased 51% from the same quarter of 2018. The amount of non-performing loans that have been written off by RBS, Lloyds, HSBC, and Barclays between July and September reached approximately $2.27 billion. During the same period last year, it was around $1.51 billion. An analysis conducted by UK-based financial services company AJ Bell shows. The difference has been attributed to the worsening economic conditions that are negatively affecting more and more companies operating in the country. One such example is the British global travel group Thomas Cook, which collapsed in September. A total of 4,355 businesses were unable to pay their debts in the third quarter. The ACLU has sued the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other federal agencies, making claims that the government is improperly withholding information on how it uses a facial recognition database on millions of Americans. Activist Post reports the civil rights organization also asked for a federal court to intervene and order the FBI and related agencies to turn over all records concerning their use of face recognition technology. That's according to a legal document. The ACLU lawsuit names the FBI, Justice Department, and Drug Enforcement Administration, alleging the agencies failed to produce any responsive documents in response to a Freedom of Information Act request. The FBI is using technology called the Interstate Photo System to identify potential suspects, and a watchdog organization, the Government Accountability Office, claimed that the agency has access to 640 million photographs, which includes driver's licenses, passports, and mugshots. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Following earlier reports of 27-year-old Mark Felder's profound and startling level of pride in his alma mater, the University of Miami alumnus spoke to Onion reporters about his strong affection for the academic institution that left him totally unprepared for the job market and floundering in $50,000 of debt.
I would not trade my time at the University of Miami for anything. Miami has the best college experience in the country, hands down. I had an awesome time there, and it's an amazing place. We've got awesome bars, awesome sports, an awesome campus, and we're pretty much right next to the beach. I mean, what more could you want? You have to be crazy not to go there.
Felder, who paid over $140,000 in tuition, told reporters he takes an annual trip to see a Hurricanes football game and visit the university that failed to teach him any marketable job skills whatsoever, leaving him so financially helpless he was forced to move back in with his parents after graduating.
AMI, fight, fight, fight! Yeah, it's all about the U, baby, all about the U. That's what I'm talking about. Go Canes, baby!
For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Take control of the airwaves. Give us a call, 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Gray.
And the captain.
And we're discussing some of the dumbest laws that we are able to find on the books in the United States. And let me tell you, some of them are shockingly stupid. Made all the more shocking because, you know, this had to get through the House of Representatives and then the Senate. And then a governor actually had to sign this into law in order for this to happen. And yet it happened with all of these examples.
Oh, all of it. Well, and you remember some time ago there was a meme about some law that was passed that like nobody read, and then some politician person said something, I'm paraphrasing, but like, we have to pass the law to find out what's in it.
Yeah,
right?
that I don't remember exactly what law that was, but
like
they covered it.
Yeah, so that happened.
DownsizeDC.com talks about that.
Yeah, that happened, I'm guessing, with every one of these ridiculous laws. Right?
How big can a law be, though, that specifies that you can't carry a violin in a bag down the streets of Nevada?
These are oddly specific. I agree.
I mean, what was the harm that occurred that caused people to go, we need a law to stop this? There are too many people with violins and bags in the streets of Nevada. This cannot be allowed to continue.
Yeah,
there should be a law.
There should be a law banning ridiculous laws.
That would be one law. What, there should be a law banning laws.
The conversation ends for
ridiculous.
me when you say there needs to be a law.
Yeah.
It goes on. In Maine, it's unlawful to tickle women under the chin with a feather duster.
That is a housewife who got angry and wrote a senator.
In Virginia, spitting on a seagull is punishable by a fine. I think you mentioned that one earlier, didn't you?
No, I mentioned that it's illegal in some state to spit against the wind.
Oh, that's right. This one's spitting on a seagull.
Should get a
Spitting on
prize for that one.
Seagull. Yeah, right.
I've chased them before. It's you're not getting close to it.
That can't be easy to accomplish. What if you do it accidentally? What if you like spit out toward the ocean and a seagull, 30 feet away?
Oh, you're guilty.
Down there on the beach.
You got to get caught first. That's the beauty of breaking a law.
It was about the Affordable Care Act, evidently. Karate Cowboy on DLive, which you can find at freetalklive.com, says that it was the Affordable Care Act. It was Obamacare, and it was Nancy Pelosi who said that it had to be passed before it could be read.
Yeah, one of the dumbest. If you go through the archives of political persons and particularly their campaign promises, you'll find some of the most ridiculous stuff. Like people don't remember, right? I'm trying to figure out what to call this. It's this thing where we're caught up in this sort of 2-week news cycle. Something that comes and everybody's outraged, and then 2 weeks later it's a new thing, right?
Yeah.
And
we have to turn on the glowing box to find out why we're outraged today.
Right. And so, Obama made a promise on his campaign that before any law was passed, you'd have, a week or something of that law being online for you to look at it before it went, the next state.
Really?
Yeah. And of course, that never
I remember
happened.
his peace promises, not so
all
much
of
the
that,
rest of it.
yeah,
It was
all
the
of
peace
that.
promises.
But there's all
about.
sorts of these things that you know what I mean? And it's not just Obama. I'm not, trying to pick on any particular president. I hate them all equally. But every one of them to a T. You go back all through history and you can find they made some ridiculous claims of things they were going to do. And of course, none of that ever materialized.
No.
I would say for me, Ron Paul, the claims he made, none of them were ridiculous. But the fact that my peers at the time would hear these things and wouldn't be like, that's my guy. And then, of course, he lost. That's when I quit.
That's what frustrated me about 2012 and 2016. I think it was those years. No, it was 2008 and 2012.
2008, right, yeah.
Was people saying, oh, I love what Ron Paul has to say, but he could never win.
Right.
Well, so I'm not going to vote for him. Well, he can't win if you don't vote for him. You ignoramus. That's how this works.
I liked Ron Paul for the same reason. As far as superheroes go, I like the superheroes that don't really have any superpowers, right?
Yeah.
Batman. It's a guy. He's a wealthy guy. That's his superpower, is that he's wealthy.
Yeah.
Iron Man's kind of the same way.
He's got lots of money.
Yeah, that's his superpower. But Ron Paul was something before he was a politician.
Yeah,
right?
he was a doctor.
Doctor, right? And he went back to doing that when he was no longer politicking. You know what I mean? And
really, because he's 80 now.
Well, he still has a practice, and he keeps up his license. So I've been told.
He'll be at Anarchapulco, right?
He will be.
Is he on the list?
Yes, he is.
I like Ron Paul to an extent. He has a regrettable habit of allowing people to write things in his name, including his Twitter account, that one would hope Ron Paul himself doesn't endorse. But when it happens over and over and over again in the same topics going back decades.
Yeah.
I imagine he ought to be getting tired of dealing with that stuff by now. He's just ready to live.
He needs to stop letting people tweet racist crap in his name.
Yeah. When you're that big of a figurehead, you're going to have people work for you and do things for you,
Sure.
That kind of thing. And particularly somebody of that age, if I were him, I'd have a social media person. I'd have, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff, right? I'd employ people to do things for me. So
that's true.
Can you hold that against the guy? I don't know, but I certainly credit him for being the gateway drug to, libertarianism or anarchy, for so many people, right? Just that the whole message of, if it's like maritime law, right? If there's no harm to anybody or anybody's property, there's no crime.
Yeah.
This is revolutionary thought, man, but no, it's just, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's how natural law works, so.
Another friend of mine at the time remarked that isn't what Ron Paul kind of fringe? Isn't he kind of a kook? I was like, you realize you're saying the ideas of peace and liberty are kookish ideas. You realize this, right?
They're regurgitating what they've heard on the glowing box.
They are, but I hope with questions like that, asking them, do you realize what literally just came out of your mouth will shock them out of that state of hypnosis?
Let's hope.
Where they sit down and realize, and hopefully these stupid laws will have the same effect. This is your government. This is your state government, your United States government passing these stupid laws. This is the benevolence of government that people point to in order to justify its existence.
You're paying for these things, and you have no choice. You're paying for the fact that in Texas it's illegal for children to have unusual haircuts.
Probably passed by something religious.
That's pretty vague, right? It's pretty, like, what's an unusual hair? I shave my head. Is mine an unusual haircut, right? Is yours? Do we all have unusual? What's a usual haircut?
Does North Korea have something like that?
North Korea, every woman has to have one of, I think, 16 different haircuts, and that's it.
Are they, like, numbered? You go into the barber and say, like, I want a 12?
That's exactly how they do it, yes.
That makes it easy.
It's also boring and mundane. That's one of the reasons that the book, The Giver, was so brilliant. You know, that was that black and white world. You can't have but this number of haircuts. You can't have unusual hair. You can't dress this unusual way. Everything has to be the same. Everything has to be black and white because we can't handle diversity and individuality and differences and the beauty of humanity. We have to stifle it. That's the state.
I don't want you recognizing you might be a slave.
That's true. In Hawaii, coins are not allowed to be placed in one's ears. They have a picture of somebody with like a quarter, sort of stacked in their ear.
I got a bean stuck in my ear one time.
A bean?
A bean.
Like a coffee bean, a green bean?
Like a pinto bean.
A pinto?
Black-eyed. Yeah, I don't know. It's a pinto bean or something.
Okay.
You're counting them in math, and I thought it was a good idea to put one in my ear.
Got stuck, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
$200 doctor bill and a whooping I got out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Bet you never put a bean in your ear again.
No more beans in there.
To be fair, I don't think that was because of the violence that the parents inflicted in that particular scenario. I think it was just because, oh crap, I had a bean stuck in my ear.
I had to go to the hospital, get it extracted.
The whooping wasn't that bad.
That's good.
Yeah, glad to hear that.
Yeah, it was on the outside.
More stupid laws in just a moment, but never forget that this is your government. If you're not an anarchist, if you subscribe to the state religion, this is your government in action. This is what it does. This is what it does best. And that's scary because everything else it does, it does
other than
worse
killing.
than this. Yeah. 855-450-3733. Do you have any dumb laws in your state? Let us know.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
This is not rehearsed. I'm just some person that listened to the commercial and said, you know what, fruits and vegetables, how can I go wrong? At one point, I was going to stop taking it, and then I got a message saying that even if you stop taking it, you still have your coat for 2 months. And that's when I really realized you people aren't looking for money. You really care about the human being and helping people. So to me, that is the most important thing.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Do you want to join the ultra-wealthy by using a 160-year-old investing program that is no longer exclusive? Keep your funds fluid and 100% tax-free for you or your heirs with no contribution limits and without ever losing your principal with Fortune DNA. Learn how to avoid the volatility of the market and put certainty back into your investing future. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The government sucks. This is Free Talk Live. Give us a call, talk about whatever is on your mind. 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
Great.
And the captain.
And how much does the government suck? Well, we're diving into that with some of the dumbest laws on the books here in the United States.
I am curious if anybody, knows of a dumb law, wherever they live. I'd love to hear from a caller.
Absolutely. But they're hard to find. I wouldn't be aware of the dumbest laws on the books here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, sometimes people get acquainted with these through various reasons. I'm trying to remember, there was an article in Washington State that I think somebody who just happened to work for the Parks Department or something stumbled on to, some literature from when a stupid law was about to be passed. And they were like, hey guys, check this out. And then that spawned other people to also sort of, get online and add to the list with stuff from, their county or city or town or whatever.
Gotta warn you, I've got an entire article here featuring multiple laws from multiple states. So when you run out, we can continue this fun.
All right, I'll just pick up. In Kansas, it's illegal to serve wine in teacups.
Wine in teacups.
Don't be putting wine in your teacup in Kansas. In Louisiana, it's illegal to gargle in public. If you're in Louisiana,
how else do you get the taste of hooker spit out of your mouth?
Go ahead and start gargling in public. In Washington, it's illegal to paint polka dots on the American flag.
Isn't it illegal to deface the American flag anywhere, though?
I mean, governments do make up redundant laws all of the time.
That's true.
I don't think it's illegal yet. I think that's still part of your freedom of speech.
Okay.
But I could be wrong, but I think the Americans will get really mad at you, and they'll want to stomp you if you stomp their flag.
You're right.
My first experience at Fork Fest was, my first night there was somebody taking an American flag, putting it on the ground, setting it on fire, and then doing the worm on it.
Yeah, I remember somebody playing a country song for that going on at Fork Fest.
That was like, welcome to New Hampshire. I was like, yes, I like this place.
I think George Carlin said something about symbols being for the simple-minded.
The simple-minded, right, yeah.
I used to love that thing too, but just a piece of cloth.
Yeah, the sky cloth is my favorite terminology for it, right? Must worship sky cloth. In Missouri, it's illegal to deface a milk carton.
Wow.
I'm not sure why. In Kentucky, it's illegal to paint your lawn red.
Who?
Now I
Okay.
can't figure out why you'd want to paint your lawn red, but like, should it be illegal? I mean, if you've got red paint, in abundance, and you're looking to get rid of it, and you want to paint your lawn, I mean,
maybe it ran over onto somebody's yard and they got mad.
Right, but so what? Get mad, that's fine, but like make a law about it, right?
Yeah, this is a law that affected one person who painted their lawn red, and it made all of their neighbors and all of their town very, very upset. So they're like, we have to pass a law to keep this person from doing this.
In Connecticut, pickles must bounce in order to officially be considered pickles.
Do cucumbers not bounce?
Well, pickles are cucumbers. They're just really small, right?
I know, but I mean,
how do you test that? And then also, who do you arrest?
Yeah, but they don't consider cucumbers to be pickles.
Well,
right,
because they haven't soaked in the juice in
right,
the jar
so
or whatever.
do cucumbers not bounce?
How much bounce?
I don't know. And
this sounds like a science experiment that Free Talk Live needs to undertake.
We are going to find out how pickles bounce. How far? What makes an official pickle bounce?
Which brand of pickle bounces the best? Kosher? Sweet? What about relish? Relish is clearly pickles.
Oh, it is.
But it certainly won't bounce.
No, it won't.
Fresh pickles would bounce more, I think. They get soggy after a while.
Yeah, they probably do. And finally on my list, in Nevada, it's illegal to put an American flag on a bar of soap.
You might wash your butt with it or something.
That's a weird law.
They have a picture of a bar of soap with like one of these little toothpick, flag, sticker things stuck in the middle of it.
Interesting.
Your tax dollars. Well, they're not really yours. Their tax dollars at work.
Well, in 1931, evidently, West Virginia passed a law that banned lewd and lascivious cohabitation and conduct before marriage. It was 2010 before this law was repealed.
Well, that would be interesting to see the backstory on that.
Well, it was Puritanism in the United States, making it illegal to have sex before marriage. In Washington, it's illegal to kill Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot is a protected species in Washington state.
That's an impressive feat for a creature that doesn't exist.
Absolutely.
And somebody took the time to get up on a podium and ask for this thing, right?
I'm thinking somebody ran their entire campaign on that and that alone.
And probably won.
And won. And it got the law passed.
In Virginia, it's illegal to hunt or kill any wild bird or wild animal, including any nuisance species, on Sundays. However, it is permissible to kill raccoons.
Raccoon haters, I guess.
It's illegal in Vermont to prohibit... Hold on, this is weird. It's illegal in Vermont to prohibit clotheslines. The law forbids regulations that prohibit clotheslines or other energy devices based on renewable resources. So that's the government making a weird law to keep itself from making other weird laws.
I wonder if you could be ridiculous with that law and just start putting up clotheslines wherever.
Yeah, Vermont's pretty green. I don't know about that one. I would want to check that one out.
Can we just go buy a bunch of clotheslines and start pinning them to random buildings and across streets and inconvenient places, particularly where the statists are?
I haven't met a Vermont person that would care what you did, at least with their clotheslines.
Okay.
In Utah, well, these would be technically clotheslines, but I don't think anyone, just throw them all across the street, just make it a big hazard for everyone and anyone.
Yeah.
They can't prohibit it.
Right.
It's in Utah, it's illegal to cause a catastrophe. State law defines a catastrophe as widespread injury or damage caused by weapons of mass destruction, explosion, fire, flood, avalanche, or building collapse.
I think all that's already covered under something, right?
I would hope so. But now it's doubly illegal.
I just want to interject because every time I hear that word, I'm reminded of a word that I invented. I'm a fan of portmanteau, right? So it's combining two words together.
Oh, yeah.
For our listeners. I invented disastrophe.
Nice.
All right, disaster and catastrophe. It's now one word. It's a disastrophe.
It's even worse.
I like it.
I created a whole new Hollywood subgenre of movies that haven't even been made yet. The disastrophe series, right?
I love it. In Texas, marriages by proxy are perfectly legal. In other words, if you have a legitimate reason for absence, like military service, it's debatable how legitimate that is, you can send someone to get married in your place as long as you have all of the right documentation.
Bro, I'm going to be at the bar. Will you stand in for my wedding?
According to the Tennessee Constitution, it's illegal to hold public office if a person has fought in a duel or knowingly been the bearer of a challenge to fight a duel.
Oh, I would challenge all the politicians immediately.
Yeah, that's like everyone, right? Well, they have to be the bearer of the challenge, not the person challenged.
Balls.
More stupid laws in a moment.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever you'd like. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Gray.
And the captain.
And a lot of people are trying to take control of their health these days. They want to make sure to avoid the pain of getting sick, the lost time at work, and costly medical bills. Well, good nutrition is the key to looking and feeling great. But eating right all the time is a challenge. Travel and work schedules can get in the way, or you may not have the desire or time to shop and cook the right foods. Well, Balance of Nature has the solution. With just 3 of the Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their veggie capsules, you get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's a lot of nutrition. After taking Balance of Nature, people report that their skin looks better, the bags under their eyes go away, they have an increase in energy, body pain is reduced or goes away entirely. So go online and become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. After your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. But this is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Go to balanceofnature.com and use the discount code FTL. I still have yet to remember to do that because I leave here after the show and I go to a bar with friends, and it's the last thing from my mind.
You should set yourself a reminder to do it like later.
I should, but we're talking now, and by the time the next break rolls around, we will all have completely and totally forgotten it.
It's true. We're trained that way.
Yeah. So, stupid laws. But before we get back into that, we've got David from New Mexico calling. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, I was going to talk about the gay Nazis, but then you came up with the stupid state laws thing, so that sounds better.
You got to have some stupid laws in your state, don't you, David?
I have one in mind. Funny you should ask. And first of all, in Alabama, aren't they all cracker cones? Maybe a few honky cones thrown in?
I see what you're saying.
Oh, come on, Captain Kickass. I got him to laugh.
I don't know.
Got him to laugh. All right.
I've never had an ice cream cone in Alabama, but you can rest assured that when I do, that I am going to put that bastard in my back pocket.
Perfect.
And you're going to tell everybody it's a cracker cone, right?
They do not make cones out of crackers, David.
They do, too. How about that Soylent Green stuff? That's kind of made out of crackers, isn't it?
Is there some joke here that I'm not getting?
No, I don't believe that the Soylent Green is racist. I believe they just throw people of all races and colors into a blender.
Wait a minute. The good Soylent Green is racist. It's made out of crackers instead of all that other stuff.
Wow.
I mean,
I do not endorse. I thoroughly repudiate and rebuke that statement, David.
We let the market decide.
We're having fun here. You need to be able to laugh at yourself in order to. You can crack all the racist jokes against the white honky cracker gringo. That's the other thing. Colored folk out there, I need some good insults for white people because all I got is cracker, honky, gringo, and gringo isn't necessarily even white.
I thought you had a stupid law.
I do. It's right here. It's and you can Google it. You can play along at home. It's really fun. Oh, as a matter of fact, we can tie in the gay Nazis with this because the gay Nazis at the University of New Mexico KUNM radio station, the news director who is a lesbian, and the program director who's a gay dude, and then the transsexual cop that came arrested me. This big guy named Mary Grace. Anyway, so we can tie. We can tie in the gay Nazis.
I love everything about that. I'm going to write down the timestamp here. Hold on, David. I never want to forget what you just said.
How does this tie into the stupid law?
Great, I got it right here because I was arrested for this stupid law. I am an expert and authority on this stupid law because I was arrested for it by a transsexual cop named Mary Grace at the request of the lesbian news director and the gay program director at KUNM at the University of New Mexico.
I've got to get this whole minute now. That is the best thing I've ever heard, David. So what is the law? Tell me the law.
The law is, like I said, play along at home. It's an NMSA, as in New Mexico statutes annotated, NMSA 30-20-12. And I got to change screens here so I can play along at my home.
Well, I would rather hear a synopsis of the law instead of the legalese.
It says, I'll synopticize it for you, all right? It says, use of telephone to terrify, intimidate, threaten, harass, annoy, or offend. So if you call somebody up on the phone and... Huh?
I feel like I know where this is going.
I don't. Well, you're better than I am because I don't even know where it's going. But anyway, so if you call somebody up on the phone and they feel offended, or if they're annoyed, you know, like if you're a telemarketer and you ring somebody's phone and they pick it up and you start talking about the insurance you want to sell them and they're annoyed, you're under arrest, dude.
I mean, we use phones here, and I'm pretty sure we've annoyed people, but I guess we're not in New Mexico. So.
Well, we're also not
you're under arrest, then.
They're calling us. Yeah, David. Yeah, stop that. I mean, annoying people is a pretty low bar.
Am I annoying you? Am I annoying you with this phone call?
No, you were annoying me with that sound effect you were making.
That whistling.
Yeah.
But it's over the telephone. So am I under arrest?
Oh, that's a good question.
I will not involve the state in these matters.
I mean, I'm not calling anybody on you, but, you know.
But if I could get a trans cop to come arrest you, that would almost be worth it.
And what was it? Mary Mother Full of Grace?
Yeah, Mary Grace Barreras.
This big dude named Mary Grace. I love it.
Mary Grace. Yeah, you can find him, her, he, she, et cetera, on Facebook under Mary Grace or MG.
I feel like there's probably a lot of Mary Graces on Facebook. So hold on. You stalked this cop who arrested you onto Facebook?
No, it's called what's the word? It's called Discovery.
Oh.
It's called Discovery. The transsexual cop has has abused her position and written up these charges and officially charged me, which gives me the right to investigate whatever it is that I need to investigate to defend myself in court. No?
So you took to Facebook to do this?
I would take to everywhere to do that. And matter of fact, I can subpoena all kinds of things. I can subpoena Mary Grace's underwear drawer.
What do you want from them to move on from this? What would make it better for you?
Well, they're currently trying to put me in jail for it, so it's not a matter of me wanting something from them. They're the ones that are in control of the process.
Yeah, you want the state to leave you alone? Is that what I'm hearing?
No,
well,
because he's mad because the state told him to leave them alone, which is understandable to an extent. But the boundaries between the state and the university that he's talking about that he kept calling, despite being told not to call, they're a little gray.
Well, they shouldn't be on the airwaves telling people not to call them.
Yeah, well, anyway, so the bottom line is the university is quite obviously owned by the taxpayers and completely paid for by the taxpayers, notwithstanding the small amount of their funding that comes from tuition dollars of undergraduates. But
see,
anyway,
that's where the
own
things
it,
go
and
off the rails. They didn't pay for it. Like the money was stolen to fund that place. So that's why they do things that sometimes aren't always as they should be.
That's true. David, thank you so much for the call. Always fascinating. You gave me some really awesome clips there that I'm going to have to cut out. But I want to tell you about Libertycon. It's a unique Liberty convention, April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C., for people who want to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations for the purpose of career advancement or business and internship opportunities. You'll hear from an incredible list of speakers like John Mackey, who is the CEO of Whole Foods and co-founder of it, who will speak on conscious capitalism. Vernon Smith, who won the Nobel Prize in Economics, is going to speak on alternative markets. Miriam Issa, a pop culture expert and political commentator with more than 300 million YouTube views. It's a huge, awesome list of big names, and there's still more. So visit libertycon.com for more details on additional speakers and use code FTL for a $10 discount. 855-450-3733.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNlife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I've treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Get Reveal at GCNlife.com with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Reveal today at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637. Plus a discount up to 25% off for Reveal at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637.
What if you could cut your heating bills this winter with your existing wood-burning fireplace and not spend thousands doing it? You can with Great Wall of Fire fireplace grates. Our U.S. patented made-in-America Wall of Fire grates increase fireplace efficiency, eliminate fireplace smoke problems, and come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. See our grates in action and get free shipping from walloffire.com or call 800-274-7364. Fireplace heat without fireplace smoke. walloffire.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Take control of the airwaves. If you're quick, you can still get on with us. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Gray.
And Captain Kickass.
And a special shout out to Dodger and Stephen Cryer, our amplifiers for tonight. Dodger was actually last night, but it got overlooked. So thank you to Dodger and Stephen Cryer. Both of them are silver amplifiers, which means they donate $5 per month to the AMP program.
Big thanks.
Absolutely. This is money that is used strictly to advertise, market, and promote the show. You can find it at amp.freetalklive.com. It's not used for anything else. It doesn't pay the co-hosts. It doesn't pay the electricity. It's just used to advertise, market, and promote the show. Again, that's amp.freetalklive.com. It's got some perks with it, including an AMP-only Discord channel, an AMP-only Facebook group. There's even an AMP-only call-in line, but it doesn't actually, get you jumped to the front of the queue like a lot of people assumed it does. No, you're going to sit there the same as the non-amps do. It doesn't work that way. You're not buying a fast pass to talk on Free Talk Live or anything like that. But we do use it to contact radio stations, help us get on more radio stations. It's more than 200 now. Again, check it out. That's amp.freetalklive.com. If you like what we're doing, help us do more of it. Help the message reach more people. So, all of that said, thank you very much to Dodger and to Stephen Cryer. Let's get right back into the phones. We've got Vernon calling from Louisiana. Vernon, you're on Free Talk Live.
Well, y'all have some crazy callers. I just want to talk about that guy that has a problem with the radio station. I cannot believe that every single night he calls in with that stuff, and then he has basically ruined his life because he wasn't allowed to do whatever with that radio station in New Mexico, which I don't even remember the whole story, but it just seems like he's absolutely obsessed.
Does he call every night? Because I only host the show twice a week.
Oh, absolutely.
It's pretty frequent.
Listen to the show every night. Just kidding.
Yeah, I've been a listener for a long time myself before being a co-host, and so, even because I'm like, this guy is really familiar, right? I knew his story, and he's pretty creative with it, though, right? He'll come in at a different angle and then sort of veer around to the whole story, and you're like, oh, here we go.
It's crazy. And then then that James guy from Arizona. I mean, I know we live in bad times. I just hope that I don't wake up one day and hear something on the news about something crazy. And I know y'all are well armed and ready to defend yourselves, but we just live in crazy times, and I'd hate to hear of anything crazy going on. And it's just crazy that Free Talk Live entertains that. I mean, I know y'all need good radio, but my goodness, I'm on Mark's side on that, where I think he should be banned from the entire show because we just live in nutty times. But I know y'all need, like I said, y'all need some good callers, and he does make for good radio, I guess. But
I appreciate the sentiment.
Hope y'all stay safe.
In his defense, I haven't known him to make threats on the air. I have no doubt that he's done that before.
Guy from Arizona?
Yeah, I have no doubt that he has before. But
doesn't Mark have a Facebook page dedicated to his threats? I mean,
yes, and I would love to be able to finish my statement here, but since
I apologize.
He was in fact banned from Free Talk Live. Ian since changed that, and he's now allowed to call if Mark isn't on because Mark doesn't want to deal with him, and that's fine, totally understandable. I accept that, but as long as he's not going to threaten hosts of the show on the air, I'm willing to entertain his lunacy.
I somehow feel like we might be preventing something horrifying from happening by letting the guy vent every now and again about whatever it is that he's obsessed with. Like in some way,
Mark.
I like to think that perhaps we're helping prevent something, but that's my own personal justification for it.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Y'all need to have a psychologist on every now and then to help these people out. The other thing I wanted to talk about were those crazy laws. I think if you, and I'm not trying to ruin the fun on this either, but if you were to actually look at the statutes, I think what those crazy law websites do is really take a law written to the extreme. I don't think you're going to read, in legalese, you can't have an ice cream cone in your back pocket. I mean, maybe you couldn't have something else, and they just came out with some wacky stuff to fill that in. But
you're probably right.
I agree, man. A lot of those laws are goofy, but I don't think they necessarily were sitting there back in the 1800s. Oh my gosh, we need to ban ice cream cones in the back pocket.
Well, and it didn't say when that law was put into effect either. But I mean, I've seen anyway reports of this type of thing throughout my time on the planet where I don't know, like in Texas, if you catch your spouse in bed with somebody else, you can kill both of them, but not just one. You have to take them both out. Like that's a law was on the books in Texas at some point.
He makes a good point. He seems to have dropped the call, but he makes a good point. It probably was something about how dairy can and can't be transported. That was probably the initial law. But if that law is written so that it includes the illegality of putting an ice cream cone in one's back pocket, then the law is badly written, which isn't any better.
I still want to go to Alabama and put an ice cream cone in my back pocket.
But speaking of spouses, in South Carolina, it's a misdemeanor for a man to seduce an unmarried woman using deception and promise of marriage. Now, evidently, it's totally legal to seduce a married woman using deception and promise of marriage, but not an unmarried one. That law was also repealed in 2016. In Rhode Island, you can face up to 20 years in prison if you bite off someone's limbs.
That's a lot of biting.
It is.
It's a finger limb?
I think it would. I think they specify finger or member of another. So yeah. If you live in Pennsylvania, don't try selling your child. Evidently, state law stipulates that a person is guilty of a misdemeanor of the first degree if he deals in humanity by trading, bartering, buying, selling, or dealing in infant children.
Isn't that just slavery with more steps?
I think it is. If you want your fortune told, you can't have that in Yamhill, Oregon. It's illegal there to practice occult arts, defined as fortune-telling, astrology, phrenology, palmistry, clairvoyance, mesmerism, spiritualism, and a lot of other things. So that's a pretty blatant violation of freedom of religion, isn't it?
That's probably to keep more people in the church.
Still, that's a straight, pretty obvious violation of the First Amendment. They prohibited religious practices overtly. No eavesdropping in Oklahoma. According to state law, every person guilty of secretly loitering about any building with intent to overhear discourse therein and to repeat or publish the same is guilty of a misdemeanor.
I mean, aren't then the cell phone companies guilty of that?
Ooh, good point.
They get a pass.
Yeah, it's only wrong when you do it, when they do it.
In North Dakota, you need permission to exterminate a pigeon. In North Carolina, it's illegal to hold a meeting or demonstration while wearing a mask. Evidently, that was likely to crack down on the Ku Klux Klan. But it has interesting implications for the furries in North Carolina.
What's a furry?
I don't know that I could describe it.
This is not safe for work?
I mean, it's safe for work insofar as any other sexual thing is safe for work, but they like dressing up as animals.
All right.
Like big fox suits and bear suits and cat suits and stuff, and they're into that.
Beyond something I would just go buy at Walmart and wear, right?
Oh, significantly so.
That reminds me of Enumclaw, Washington.
For over a century, New Mexico law stipulated that idiots were ineligible to vote. I'm in favor of that. Let's have that everywhere.
What is that?
Idiots are not eligible to vote.
I mean,
this is in New Mexico.
How about idiots aren't eligible to run for office?
That would also be good. However, the law was repealed in 2016 because the discriminatory language primarily referred to mentally disabled people. Well, I'm not okay with that. It's just I'm against stupid people, not disabled people. In New Jersey, here's a stupid one. Talk about blue on black. If you're planning to commit a serious crime in New Jersey, leave your bulletproof vest at home. According to state law, it's a third-degree crime to wear a bulletproof vest while engaged in the commission or an attempt to commit murder, manslaughter, robbery, sexual assault, burglary, kidnapping, criminal escape, or assault.
Manslaughter.
So, in addition to all of those things being illegal in their own right,
you can't wear your bulletproof vest while doing so.
There are so many stupid laws out there, and Free Talk Live has been talking about those stupid laws going back 10 years. Head on over to freetalklive.com to listen to all of those episodes. They do, in fact, go back 10 years. Again, that's freetalklive.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council?